All right, so you want to be a CEO, ready to take charge, call the shots, that whole thing. Well, you've come to the right place. You handed us a stack of info on what it takes to become a CEO, basically wanting the inside scoop. And let me tell you, these career guides we're diving into today, they don't mess around.
Yeah, no kidding. We're talking detailed breakdowns of the entire CEO journey, from starting out to, you know, seasoned pro.
Like having a cheat sheet to the C-suite, right? But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the whole CEO persona.
Yeah.
You know, the power suits, the big decisions, that almost mythical aura. Do these sources we have actually reflect that image, or is it more complicated than that?
It's funny you should say that because what surprised me most was how much these sources actually demystify the role of a CEO. Like, yes, they make big decisions under pressure, but it's less about some kind of, I don't know, innate charisma and more about a very specific set of skills. And the thing is, you can actually develop these skills over time. It's not like you're just born a CEO.
Okay, so less about being born a CEO, more about becoming one. I like that. So what does this essential CEO skill set actually look like?
Well, get ready for some hard data because these sources come prepared. They break it down by percentage. 82% judgment and decision-making, 79% management of financial resources. It gets very granular.
Wow, they really get into the weeds with this.
They do. But, and here's where it gets really interesting, there's this one skill they highlight that I wasn't expecting: social perceptiveness.
Social perceptiveness. Interesting. That sounds more like something I'd need at, I don't know, a dinner party or something, not the boardroom. How does that translate to leading a company?
That's a great question. Think about it, though. A CEO is constantly reading the room,
Yeah.
understanding what makes people tick their team, investors, even competitors. They have to be able to adapt how they communicate in like a split second. It's not just about making the tough calls, it's about bringing people along with you. And that takes a high degree of social intelligence.
It's like they're playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. So let's say you've got this social perception down, you're a master of data analysis, you dream in spreadsheets. How do you actually climb that corporate ladder? Is it just years of grinding away, hoping for the best?
That's where the career path laid out in these sources gets really valuable. They break it down almost like levels in a video game, actually.
Okay, I am listening.
You start with entry-level positions, and each stage needs you to gain specific experience to get you ready for the next level.
Okay, I'm already hooked on this CEO career game analogy. So walk us through a few of these levels. What are some of the early challenges we gotta conquer on our epic quest to the C-suite?
Okay, so picture this. You're a junior manager, right? Leading small teams, maybe starting to develop your own strategies. You've got responsibility. You're not just following orders anymore. You're shaping things.
You're making things happen.
Exactly. You conquer that level, boom, you're on to the next one. Senior manager. Now you're overseeing multiple departments, keeping an eye on industry trends. You're getting that big picture perspective, which is crucial for the top.
Right. So it's like each level unlocks new skills, new perspectives. Like you're literally leveling up your character. And it's not just vague advice like be a good leader. It's specific, actionable steps.
Yes, exactly. And then you hit that director level. You're setting the strategic direction for entire divisions,
Yeah.
building relationships with board members. You're basically a mini CEO at this point, making decisions with major impact.
Okay, this is way more helpful than any of those generic career advice articles. It's like having a secret roadmap to the C-suite. Speaking of secrets, though, these sources mention using AI to actually land these CEO jobs, which feels very 21st century.
It really is.
And I'm hoping this doesn't mean robots are replacing CEOs, at least not yet. So what's the deal with AI in all of this?
It's not about robots taking over, at least not entirely. It's more like AI becoming the secret weapon in your CEO career game. Like it amplifies your existing skills and gives you a serious edge.
All right, you've got me intrigued. Break it down for us. How does AI actually work in the real world of, climbing the corporate ladder? So we're talking about AI as this secret weapon. I'm ready to hear more about how this actually works.
Okay, so imagine this. You're applying for a CEO position,
Yeah.
a big one, right?
Yeah.
The AI comes in, analyzes the entire job description, and really digs into it, not just the listed experience, but what they're actually looking for in a leader. Then it compares that to your resume and basically says, here's where you're good, but here's where you need work.
Okay, that's kind of amazing, but also maybe a little terrifying, like having a brutally honest career coach, but it's an algorithm.
Right. But that's actually what's so cool about it. It doesn't just point out the gaps, it helps you fill them.
Mm.
So let's say the job description mentions needing experience with international expansion. The AI might suggest, Hey, you should look into a course on global market entry strategies. It can even connect you with platforms offering those courses.
No way. So it's like having this personalized roadmap that constantly updates based on like where you are in your career and where you want to go. This is actually happening right now.
It's happening. And there's this whole other aspect we haven't even gotten to yet, reverse matching.
Reverse matching. Okay, now I'm really curious.
So instead of you searching for companies, the companies are searching for you. Based on your skills, your experience, your goals, the AI can actually connect you with companies that are actively looking for someone with your profile.
So it's like this algorithm is out there playing matchmaker for your career. No more sending out hundreds of resumes into the void. But if AI can do all of that, I mean, are we even going to need headhunters like recruiters in the future?
Ooh, that is the million-dollar question, honestly. I think the whole relationship between like human expertise and AI is going to keep evolving. But one thing's for sure, people who know how to use AI to their advantage, they're definitely going to have a leg up. It's not about replacing human skills, it's about amplifying them.
Okay, so we've busted some myths about the CEO persona, mapped out this whole career path with all its levels and challenges, and now we've got AI on our side, helping us fill in the gaps and even find the right companies. If someone's listening to this, feeling pumped to pursue that CEO dream, what's the one key takeaway they should keep in mind? So, after this deep dive, what's the main takeaway? If someone's ready to pursue the CEO dream, what should they focus on?
You know, if you really boil it down, becoming a CEO isn't about luck anymore, or even just putting in the hours. It's not about knowing the right people. These sources make it clear that we're in a whole new era where it's about strategically building the right skills.
So, it's about taking control, being proactive.
Yes. And understanding how to use tech to your advantage. Like we talked about AI, right?
Right.
That's a game changer. And having that crystal clear understanding of how things work in the business world. Like you have to know the game board if you want to win.
Right. No more waiting for someone to just hand you the keys to the corner office. You have to go after it. But it made me wonder about something. We've been talking about this very traditional corporate structure. What about all the startups popping up with this whole new wave of leadership? Could that be a different route to the top?
That's a really good point. And honestly, it's something these traditional career guides don't really address. Like the rules of the game could be totally different in that world. You might not be climbing a traditional ladder.
Yeah.
You might be building the company from the ground up, which comes with its own set of challenges and rewards for sure.
It's like choosing your own adventure. You can go the traditional corporate route with its levels and challenges, or dive into the startup world where you're making the rules as you go. Both can lead to the top, but in totally different ways.
Yeah. And that's something I'd really want anyone listening to think about. What kind of environment do you work best in? What are your strengths? Because it's about understanding yourself, just as much as it is about understanding the skills you need to be a good CEO.
That's a perfect point to wrap up on. We've gone from talking about the CEO persona and what it really takes to mapping out that corporate path all the way to AI. We even considered some alternative routes to leadership. There's a lot to think about
Yeah,
here.
sure. A lot to digest.
And who knows? Maybe someone listening right now will be the next big CEO. Maybe they'll be leading a Fortune 500 company or building $1 billion startup from their garage.
You never know.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all of that. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep aiming for the top.